Here are 30 quick tips on how to get good in first person shooters. Number 1. Always aim where you think the enemy will appear. Unless you actually concentrate on it, your natural instinct will be to dart your eyes all over the screen as you sprint across the map, scanning non-stop for enemies. Make it a conscious point to point your reticle exactly where you think or fear the enemy is most likely to appear, no matter which direction you are traveling in. You can move or glance sideways, up or down, but your bullets will travel only to one place, that dot at the center of your screen, so always be ready. Number 2. Stay on the edge of the map. It is tempting to rush right into the center of the map, where the thick of the action is. But even if you are a seasoned player, that's where you are most likely to get killed. Stick to the border of the map and aim inwards. Sure, you might miss all the frenetic action, but you will have an advantage for longer. Number 3. Get selfish. The easiest way to help your team is by staying alive and ensuring the opposing team doesn't. Until you get really good, focus on improving your KD ratio and don't worry too much about achieving team objectives. Before you go any further, you must be wondering why you should listen to me. Am I a famous Twitch streamer or a pro gamer? Far from it. In fact, I am pretty terrible at FPS. I mostly play cinematic, story driven games and have gotten into multiplayer games of any sort only recently. I am still hopeless at it, but analyzing these minor details, finding weaknesses, and figuring out how to fix them is what I do for a living. To confirm that I am not kidding myself, I asked my far more experienced friends if these tips and tricks are actually helpful, and they said yes. Either that or they just didn't want to embarrass me. Anyway, let's continue. Some specific tips here apply only to Call of Duty Modern Warfare, multiplayer, and Warzone, but most of them are good for all types of first person shooters and battle royale games, from Fortnite to Apex Legends to PUBG to Valorant and what have you. Oh, by the way, feel free to ignore the accompanying video because these are just like my personal highlight reel and concentrate on the tips. Cheers. Number 4. Disable every distraction. That means subtitles, other players' achievements, chat, unnecessary notifications. Any on screen pop up that doesn't give you a tactical advantage should go. I keep my Nvidia FPS counter on only because I have an unhealthy obsession with it. Number 5. Turn the volume up. Footprints, approaching gunshots, audio cues are as important as visual cues. Better still, use headphones. Number 6. Focus. The benefits of mind muscle connection have been widely proven in sports. In bodybuilding, for example, it has been proven that you get more benefit per workout if you are actively thinking and concentrating on the muscle you are trying to stress out. The same applies for gaming. You could be playing FPS games for years, but if your head isn't actively in the game and you are not consciously hunting for the next kill, it will elude you. Number 7. Change your map style. Go into settings and change the default map from round to square to get a small tactical advantage. Number 8. Pick your style. Early on in the game, you will quickly find out what type of player you are. Are you the long distance sniper fan, or the melee brawler, or the gadgets man? I have found that I am too impatient to crouch in one place and wait for the enemy to appear in my sniper scope. So I am the run and gun type who kills and also gets killed frequently. Number 9. Pick your loadout. Experiment with all the guns and all the attachments and pick the one that suits your playstyle. Don't go by what the internet tells you or what you see most frequently in the game. What configuration works best for you will be different from what works for others. Once you find the gun that suits you best, stick with it and focus on leveling up. Number 10. Try out other classes. Yes, this is a direct contradiction of what I just said. Sometimes, only and only when you are sure you are safe, pick up down players' guns and play a bit with them. You will get a fair idea of what setups others are running and how they feel in comparison. Number 11. Tweak your mouse sensitivity. Go to the in-game options and find a setting that works best for you. Ideally, you should be able to do a complete 180-degree turn with one smooth swipe of your wrist. Number 12. Disable mouse acceleration. Same tweak, but this one in Windows 10 itself. And uncheck the Enhance Pointer Precision box. Number 13. Get a big enough mousepad. Like I said, you should be able to do quick swipes without needing to lift up your mouse. Number 14. Pick around corners. More often than not, you will get killed as you turn a corner. Experienced gamers move in such a way that they have a glimpse of the other side before they actually turn. Number 15. Master your movements and not just sprint and slide into crowds. Learn to change positions and stances while firing. One of my biggest weaknesses was, and still is, coming to a dead halt every time I start firing. Learn to start firing from the hip and aim down side at the same time while continuously moving, preferably sideways. Simply moving forwards or backwards is easy, but it doesn't help much, as Game of Thrones proved. Number 16. Control your body language. I have this tendency to involuntarily jerk to attention or tense up every time I see the enemy or bullets start raining down on me. If you do that too, learn to consciously control it and not react every single time. Relax your limbs and upper body. Slow down your breathing and you will have a much better chance. Not to mention, you will also be less stressed out and can game longer. Number 17. Use your teammates as collateral. This might sound a little selfish. If a place looks like there might be an enemy waiting for you to rush in, or some claymores or an ambush, hang back a bit. Eventually, one of your teammates is bound to charge head first. He will most probably get killed, but not before gifting you valuable time to avenge him. Number 18. Learn the spawn points. This is especially important for smaller maps and more fast-paced action like the Shipment, Rust, and Shoot House maps in Modern Warfare multiplayer. 19. Use every in-game item to your advantage. Every game has valuable items that are sometimes far more effective than your good old gun. For an embarrassing amount of time, I just focused on upping the stats of my gun and neglecting perks and kill streak upgrades, and then wondering why I kept being killed by something from the skies. For example, in Modern Warfare right now, I use double time, overkill, and tracker perks for run and gun most of the time. But there are other good options like EOD, Ghost, Quick Fix, and Battle Hardened. Then you have your UAVs and many other forms of aerial support. Use them wisely. Number 20. Anticipate the enemy's next move. It will take practice, but an observant gamer can eventually come to learn where an enemy is most likely to camp, where they are most likely to relax their guard, and which direction they could come sprinting from. 21. Disable motion blur, depth of field, and ray tracing. You might have heard of pro players disabling every visual enhancement or turning down textures and other eye candy down to get that extra edge and playing in 1080p. It is not just about getting your frames per second up, it is also about making the enemy pop against the background. 22. Spend an hour training in a private game against bots. So you have decided that you like FPS games and you are going to play it for some time for the foreseeable future. Okay, I know it sounds boring, but the best investment that you can then make into your skills is to spend an hour or so playing with bots in a private match. Free from the stress of competing against humans, this will give you the chance to analyze the map, the loadout, your settings, your strategies, and most importantly, your weak points. 23. Shoot first, apologize later. The battlefield is no place for second guessing. Doing so might mean that split second difference between killing your enemy first or getting killed. If it moves, shoot it. If it turns out to be a teammate, apologize later. No collateral damage, no harm done. 24. Camo up your operator and gun. I know everything these days can be dolled up as if it came out of an M&M candy factory. But there's a reason the Marines in Afghanistan try to blend into the background. It literally saves lives. Save the bright colors for the bright parade. 25. Resist the impulse to reload after every kill. Unless you are like using a double barrel shotgun or something, then by all means go crazy. 26. Stay inside. This one is really dependent on the map, but for the most part, you are safer inside a building than out. From here, you can peek out the windows and take pot shots at whoever comes into view. Just be aware that other players also have the same idea, so be ready for some CQC. 27. Get something with a high rate of fire. If you are watching this video, I am assuming your aim is less than excellent. So forget about the heavy hitters that can take down polar bears in one shot and get something with a high rate of fire. Though not something like an SMG that's heavily limited at medium and long range. I prefer the 9mm Parabellum ammo upgrade for the M4A1. 28. Go high. Get to a vantage point from where you can survey much of the action down below. Just keep low and don't stay there for too long. Be aware that if you can see them, they can also see you. Number 29. Change tactics. If you are getting repeatedly killed at some place or doing something, it is time to change tactics. Use a different weapon or attachment, take a different route, or try to outflank your enemy. Number 30. Know what attachments will give your position away. Sniper scopes with 4x zoom are nice, but they also give your position away. So does most lasers. Number 31. Learn from the kill cam. Note where your enemy is, how he moved, and how he spotted and shot you before you could react. Use it to gain the upper hand the next time. Number 32. Don't feel shy of using unfairly OP weapons. Every game has its meta or OP weapons, the ones that regular players are desperately crying for a nerf. The Origins and the Bruins and the Grouse. Use this to your advantage until you have caught up to better players or until they get nerfed. Number 33. Take a break. When everything else is not working in your favor, maybe it is time to take a break. Go cook up something, get a drink, or do something else and come back with a renewed focus. And last but not the least, practice, practice, practice. This final tip is sadly the most obvious and the one where there are no shortcuts. You can't get better without lots and lots of practice. Those annoying kids who claim to have had relations with your mom keep demolishing your ego only because they have put in the hours while you and I were adulting. So go out there and grind it through. Thanks for watching.